Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I'm Brittany. A couple days ago I shared with you that I am on a journey to have a tummy tuck. If you missed that, I will put it in the description bar below. Pause this, go watch it, come back, and today I'm going to be talking about my consultation. I had it on Friday and today's Monday. So I'm just going to basically kind of tell you the process and what happened and what they said and where we're going from here. So I worked in a plastic surgery practice for 2 years, so I'm accustomed to kind of the process. I had an idea going in what it was going to be like, but of course every office varies, with their procedures and their, their stuff. So I went in and they have you fill out like a ton of paperwork, just like all your medical history, what your desired outcome is, different procedures that you've had, and all the standard kind of medical stuff. So I'm led to a room and she has me sit down and she gives me an iPad and she's like, go through and just look at the pictures and the gallery and whatever. I had already seen it, so I like totally studied the website prior to going in. So I was just kind of like, re-looking at them again. I only waited for like a couple minutes and then the doctor came in and, something in my face. So the doctor came in and he was super friendly, very like down to earth. Like he didn't seem intimidating at all, which was really nice because I was super nervous. I mean, going in there and having someone look at your body and basically tell you what you should change was kind of like, it's nerve-wracking. So I was nervous. He put me right at ease. He was super nice. And he basically was just like, asking what I was wanting and, what I was looking for. And I don't think I mentioned this in the video the other day. When you look at like tummy tucks and things like that, like something I see very common and very often is that women end up with this very square looking, like it's like they're very like wide or like, like shapeless almost, like a box, like literally like SpongeBob, but like a flat stomach. And I was like, that is literally like horrendous. Like, and I see it all the time. So obviously that was my biggest concern. I'm like, I don't really even care about the scar at this point. Like that is what it is. I was like, but I do not want to be a box. And that was one of the things that drew me to his pictures and to his office was all of the women that he had done surgery on had this beautiful, like curvy, nice, feminine shape, and also had obviously the nice flat stomach. But it was even more so than having like a flat stomach. I'm like, I don't want to look like a box, like I'm a curvy girl in general, so I'm like, I want to have curves. I don't want to look like that. So he totally got it and was kind of telling me the procedure, and basically, it's intense. It's definitely not, something to be taken lightly. And so they make a scar, an incision from hip bone to hip bone. He said it goes down, like it would go below where my C-section scar is and kind of do with the curve of the body. But it's a pretty big scar. And then they pull the stomach up, tighten the muscles, and that was what I was talking about the other day about the muscles separating. Tighten the muscles back up, and then pull down all of the excess skin and excise it, which I'm like, ugh. It's like, I don't really want to think about it. But they pull down the skin and then do like internal staples. And he said that the biggest thing to make sure that you don't get that weird shape is they also do liposuction of like the love handles and anywhere like basically that you have like excess like fat to really have that nice curvature. And kind of talking about the excess fat, I think it's a really big misconception that you can just go get surgery, like you know what I mean? Like you're just like, oh, I don't really feel like working out, I don't really feel like dieting, I'm just gonna go have it removed. And that is so not the case. And I, prior to working in plastic surgery, I wasn't really aware of that either, you know what I mean? But every single time you talk to like a doctor and you're talking about body contouring and doing surgery like this, they're like, are you at your goal weight? And no, I am not at my goal weight. But I am dieting, I am exercising, and up until this point, I think I've been kind of like half-assed about it. And going to that meeting basically and having that discussion really got me motivated, because up until this point it was just like a thought, you know what I mean? So when thoughts become actions, it's kind of like, okay, well, if I'm going to commit to this and I'm going to do this big surgery and I'm going to, spend that amount of money, obviously you want things to look good. So then there was that. I finished talking to him. We went, or I'm sorry, let me go back. So then after we do our little initial discussion and he tells me kind of the process and things like that, he's like, let me examine your body. So I'm like, okay. So he's like, here's a robe. I'm going to step out for a second, you know, put on the robe. And at this point I like start sweating. So he comes right back in and we go to in front of this long mirror and he looks at my stomach and he was like, well, I think you're a perfect candidate for it, which I was like, oh my God. And he was like, I think you will have a beautiful result. You know, I don't have a ton of excess fat on my stomach. It's like really, I don't really gain weight there. I gain it all over. I mean, there's plenty to go around, but that's never been like a huge issue for me. So, and that's why I think it's so upsetting to me, is because I don't want to have this big gross stomach, you know? So anyway, so he looks at it, he's like, I think you'll have a beautiful result, you're a perfect candidate for it. And I'm like, whoo! And after that, so we finished talking, and after that he takes me to another room where you meet with the person who's going to talk to you about the money and all that. And so I sit down, I just look at some of his other work, and I thought it was all really, really good. And then someone comes in and they give you, you know, the price sheet, and you're like, oh my God. Even though you kind of know already, it's like seeing it on paper, it's just like, but that's not here nor there. So, yeah, so then you know, we talked about the scheduling and things like that. And obviously, so where we live here in South Florida, it's extremely seasonal. Like this is considered season from like November to April. It's like super busy. Our population like quadruples, I think. And I said that I wanted to have it in June, and she was like, that's great. The office is super flexible with times and schedules and things like that. So I'm like, awesome. And so I left there, and I, all in all, thought it was a really great experience. I thought the office staff was nice. The doctor was super down to earth and super knowledgeable. He was kind of talking about the way different types of tummy tucks throughout the years. He's been doing it for a really long time, and it seems like he keeps up like really current with like what's, you know, the newest innovations, and also what the body style that people are trying to achieve is. And I'm like super into it. So yeah, that it was the consultation, and the first one went really well. I am still gonna have some other consultations, just because I think it's responsible and it's smart to not just pick one person. I think, you know, you should really do your due diligence and make sure that you're making a really good, solid decision, and that it's really well thought out. And you know, it is a big surgery. Like, and going to that, actually, I mean, it did make me more nervous in some ways and less nervous in some ways, because I'm like, I like won't watch a video on how it's done, even though I have seen them in the past. Now that it's like becoming my reality, I'm like, no thanks. I don't really want to. I think I'll check it out. So going forward, I woke up super motivated today, because I'm like, okay, you know what? If I'm gonna do this, let's do this. I wanna like work out hard, eat super clean, and really get where I wanna be. Get this going. So I'm super excited, and if you're interested, I will share what I'm doing to lose weight and my tips, and if you're interested at all, I mean, I'm happy to share it because it would keep me accountable. So just let me know. But yeah, I think that's it for everything. I think I covered it all. Subscribe so you can find out what else is going on, and yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video.